This is Professor L.B.Gayakawad's English Literature Web. I am Professor L.B.Gayakawad is teaching today the topic lecture number 378. The topic is the direct and indirect speech part 4. Before going to discuss the topic, I will request you to watch, like and subscribe my YouTube channel. The second request is that please see all the notes which I have put in the description box. Now I will tell you that the students of 10th standard and 12th standards have suggested me to take the topics on the direct and indirect speech, and that's why here I am to discuss the topic of the direct and indirect speech. Now see, we will go to the topic. Now we are studying the rules of changing tenses regarding the direct and indirect speech. It means we are looking or we are studying the rules of the tenses which change regarding the indirect speech. It means when we make the indirect speech, the tenses change. How the tenses change we will see now. Remember, we are learning here the rules of changing the direct speech into the indirect speech. The explanation is that here we have taken examples of the direct speech, and these examples will be changed into the indirect speech. That is the particular thing here. So I will read and teach you the first rule. What is the first rule? If the reporting verb is in the present tense, means if the reporting verb, it means that there is the direct speech, and in that direct speech there is the reporting verb, and if that reporting verb is in the present tense, the indirect speech shall come into the present tense. It means that the reporting verb if is in the present tense, then the indirect speech also comes into the present tense. It means the tense remains same, and that is the present tense. Means the tense never changes, and that tense is the present tense. That is the explanation. But other changes happen there. Which are the other changes? For example, we will see if there is the word here, that here will be there, means here becomes there, and my becomes his or her. If that subject, or I will say the object, is a male, then it becomes his, or if there is the female, it becomes her. For example, we will see Willem says. Now see, Willem is the speaker, means he is speaking here. So Willem says, and says is the reporting verb, and this reporting verb is given in the present tense. And now the direct speech is beginning. What is the direct speech? Comma, inverted comma, it is a nice poem, Coleridge. And the double inverted comma is closed, and there is the full stop. So again I will read the example. So Willem says, comma, inverted comma, double inverted comma has begun, and the sentence is, it is a nice poem, Coleridge. Inverted comma is closed. Now the answer of this direct speech will be Willem says. Now see, the speaker is Willem, so that Willem will be written as it is, means Willem will not be changed. Says is the reporting verb, and that reporting verb is in the present tense. That's why says will remain says. Coleridge will remain Coleridge because it is the object, that is the listener, and the listener will not change. Now we have taken there that conjunction. So that is the that conjunction, because when it means that my point is that if the direct speech is in the present tense and in the simple sentence, I will say the direct speech is, it is a nice poem, that is the direct speech. So the indirect speech will be there, that it is a nice poem. So remember again, I will read the indirect speech. William says Coleridge that it is a nice poem, full stop. Now see, here William is the subject, it will remain the same. Says is the reporting verb, it is in the present tense, so it will remain the same. Coleridge will remain the same because it is the listener, it is the object, so it will not be changed, it will remain the same. Then comma, inverted comma has started there. We have taken the conjunction that, because it is a nice poem, is the simple sentence, and this simple sentence we have joined with the help of the conjunction that. So the sentence has become that it is a nice poem. So we have joined there these two parts, the first reporting part and the direct speech. We have connected with the conjunction that. So the sentence has begun, William says Coleridge that it is a nice poem, full stop. So remember, in this way we should do the indirect speech of the direct speech, I will say, or from the direct speech I will say. The second rule here I will read is that if the reporting verb is there in the future tense, remember the reporting verb is now in the future tense. Remember, in the future tense, and the reported speech or the direct speech verb remains same. Remains same means what? If that direct speech is there in the present tense, then it will remain the present tense only. Means it will not change. It means that if the reporting verb is in the future tense and the direct speech is in the present tense, then there is no change in the direct speech while making into the indirect speech. So I will read again. If the reporting verb is there in the future tense, the reported speech or the direct speech verb remains same while doing the indirect speech. It means the verb doesn't change and is same. For example, we will see William will say, comma, inverted comma, start, means started. It is a nice poem, comma, Coleridge, inverted comma is closed, full stop. So again I will read the example. William will say, it is a nice poem, Coleridge. So now this sentence will be turned into the indirect speech and it will be like this. See, William will say, Coleridge, that it is a nice poem. So remember, we will explain this. William is the same because it is the subject, it will not change. Will say is the reporting verb, it is given in the future tense, so it will not change. Coleridge also will not change because it is the listener, it is the object, so it will not change. Then we have joined these two parts with the help of the that conjunction, so we have taken there the that conjunction. And the indirect speech is, it is a nice poem, because we have just seen that if the reporting speech is in the future tense, then the direct speech, if is there in the present tense, it remains the same. And that's why again I will read the indirect speech. William will say Coleridge that it is a nice poem. But other changes happen there. Other changes happen there means what are the changes? We will see now. If there is the word here, it becomes there. And if there is my, then it becomes his or her. Again here I will say it is the point of the male or female. If there is the male, it becomes his. If there is the female, it becomes her. Now we are going to the third rule, and I am reading now the third rule. If the reporting verb is given in the past tense, the verb in the direct speech must change into the past tense. Remember what is the rule here? The rule is very simple, that if the reporting verb is given in the past tense, means if the reporting verb is said or said to, then the verb in the direct speech, it means that the direct speech must change into the past tense. Means that when we will do the indirect speech of the direct speech, that direct speech will happen only in the past tense. So now we will see the examples. So the example is, William said, comma, double inverted comma is started. It is a nice poem, comma, Coleridge, inverted comma is closed, full stop. Again I will read the example. William said, it is a nice poem, Coleridge. Remember now the indirect speech will be like this. William said Coleridge that it was a nice poem. So we will now explain this indirect speech. How? See, William will remain William, said will remain said, because if the reporting verb is in the past tense, it remains the same. That is the rule of the indirect speech. Coleridge will remain Coleridge because it is the object, it is the listener, and the listener and the objects are not changed there. That conjunction we have taken because again and again I am telling you, it is the sentence, means it is a nice poem, it is a sentence given in the simple sense, means it is the simple sentence, and that's why the indirect speech has happened there, that it was a nice poem. Means these two parts, means the reporting verb part and the direct speech part, have been joined with the help of the conjunction that, and so the indirect speech has become that it was a nice poem. So again we will see, we will read the example once again. William said Coleridge that it was a nice poem. Next rule is, but other changes happen there. Other changes happen there, it means that if there is the word today, that today becomes that day, and if there is the yesterday, that yesterday becomes the day before. So see, today will become that day, yesterday will become the day before. Means these are the rules and regulations of the indirect speech when we turn the direct speech into the indirect speech. Now the last point we are going to see is the conclusion. When we see the conclusion, then we see that the indirect speech is done as per the verbs in the first part. Remember, very simple thing is that when we are going to change the direct speech into the indirect speech, then we should see the verb in the first part. In the first part means in the part of the reporting verb. For example, we will say, if the reporting verb is say or says, then there will be is, means that indirect speech will be in the present tense, and there will be no change in the tense, means that tense will be the same, means that present tense will be the present tense, it will not change. The second rule is that if the reporting verb is will or shall, then suppose will or shall say, if in this way the reporting verb is there, then we will change that direct speech into the present tense, means it will happen in is, means it is a nice poem, like this. And there will be no change in the tense, because there is the simple future tense, and that's why there will be no change there will be no change in the direct speech. Means I will say, when we will do the indirect speech from the direct speech, there will be no change at all. So if the verb is said, so there will be was, means there will be past tense. Means if the reporting verb is given in the sense of the said or said to, then the indirect speech will be in the past tense, and there will be a change in the tense. Means we will do the change in the tense, but other words change as per the rules. Remember, we are studying here some words which change there as per the rules. How? See, for example, now will become then, this will become that, these will become those, here will become there, today will become that day, tonight will become that night, today will become that day, tomorrow will become the next day, etc. It means that here today we have seen this part. Again we will be in front of each other with a new topic. Till then, thank you very much.